Hello, people of the world of the internet watching videos that have to do with car restoration. Welcome to this. My 1990 Honda CRX Si, which was also my very first car ever. And it will soon be powered by none other than a B16A SIR2 spec. In the previous video, I was in the process of stripping the chassis down so I can begin paint and body work. But I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because I have all of the parts I removed from the car that also need to be fully restored. This front cross member would be very easy to stick back in the car looking like this with the rest of it all freshly painted, and you wouldn't really see it on YouTube, but that's not how I do restorations.
第12幕、さらに深く掘り下げる。
Now I want you to take note at something. This is critical detail. I'm gonna use a little bit of medium cut compound. Oh, that's better. Now we get a good sample. This is a scan grip light. It's used for paint correction, detailing, and paint and body work. Shows the color in its truest form. This is a black plastic Canon lens cap, which is a very neutral black. And when I say neutral black, I mean it's neither a warm tone like reds, yellows, oranges, or a cool tone, greens, purples, blues. It's just right in the middle, it's black. So I'm placing the black cap next to the subframe. This is the original Honda finish. So if you look at the color of the Canon lens cap, it just looks black, like it's just black. But if you look at the subframe to the side of it, it's like a brownish green. It has a very different color profile. And that weird off black is the direct source of what is known as member berries. Same reason why when I restored the 74 Celica for my dad in its original color gold, which kind of looks like puke green or baby shit brown to some people, it's a color that you just don't see anymore. Look at new cars on the road today. Everything is either black, grayish, silverish, or white. And every once in a while red. Now this is a different part of the car. This is the rear bumper support beam. And survey says we got the same situation going back here. A vast majority of structural pieces like this on these cars, regardless of what color the vehicle was painted, are in this finish. Oh, it's spider webs. Excuse the mess, I'm starting to run out of shelf space here. Everything is organized. This right here is off a 96 Japanese spec Honda Integra Type R. Yeah, see, I don't even have to clean that and I can already tell it's the same exact color. Time for a field trip. I have an angel food cake here to come along for the ride. Ouch.
No backpack.
Yeah, we'll come back for the others. Okay. I love that he's got all these Toyota valve covers up there. Metallic blacks, golds. I see how I did it. So this is black, so I took this from here. Oh yeah, I can, look at that. Oh, this is good. There's so many. That's already getting real close right there.
Yeah, hold that one on.
That's potentially a winner right there. Here's some blacks. Having an accurate light source is critical to matching colors, and when in doubt, the best light source of all is to just bring something out in the sun. And that's really close too. Signal black. Look at that, that's got that brown right there.
Yeah, and depending on how you hit the swatch, it actually
because it has like a
matches it
flop.
right on.
Yeah. While this is not sponsored, I want to give a shout out to Elegant Iron. They're the business that has been doing my powder coating for a couple years now, and they do amazing work if you're in southern Arizona. Okay, so I'm back. Sans and Angel, he went off to the outfield. Anyway, ouch. Ouch. Do it right in the center of that paint mark. Ouch. My apologies for the mess. Now that I know I have a guaranteed color match, the rest of this needs to happen fast. I think it just presses right out. Ow, I just hit myself in the head. I'm pretty sure I'm doing this right, but I want to inspect something first. Had I been a smart particular individual, I would have looked at these before I started pressing the old ones out. But sometimes I don't think before I do things. Inside this box, this right here, check this out. Now that right there is a set of Mugen made in Japan rear trailing arm bushings. And for those that don't understand what this is, if you're familiar with American older cars, it'd be like finding a new in the box set of saline parts for a 1990 Ford. That's neat. The Mugen instructions that came with it have a fax number at the bottom. That's how you know it's old. Looks just like a genuine OEM Honda part, but it's a stiffer durometer, but it's still rubber, it's not urethane. You want to put a towel around it just in case.
Now before I get a comment, yes, they do make die kits for presses, so that way you don't have to use random chunks of metal laying around your shop, but had I had one of those kits, I wouldn't be using a random chunk of metal laying around my shop.
I think it's almost out. Pretty sure it's pretty close to the bottom of being out. Got it. See, look how soft that is. I couldn't do that with the Mugen one.
I think that's as good of a sign of any that I should just park this clear on the other side of the shop, because 10 feet away is not far enough.
This is ready for me to bring over to Elegant Iron now.
It'd been a couple weeks since I last drove the Celica, and yes, there will be a couple more videos coming on it so I can finish things up, but I took it for a quick rip around just to get things warmed up.
Ooh. There you go. That went a lot easier. Now, something that I noticed, and this is arts and crafts session. This right here is stamped steel, just like the subframes. It's finished in that off black, brownish green. This right here is cast iron, also a suspension part, but it's made out of a different material. And upon examining this under a light, this has got a different paint or finish on it and is actually just a pure black. It's neutral. I might deviate. I want it all, I don't know. I want it all to be the same. Don't cut your fingers off. There. Oh, I opened it upside down. Love that. These right here are my 9091 Civic EX sedan front knuckles.
And for those of you that are not aware, during this generation of Civic, the 90 and 91 Civic EX sedan in North America had a larger factory front brake rotor, yet still had the same size diameter wheel bearing and geometry as the other CRX and Civic Si models, which essentially allows you to bolt on a factory big brake kit utilizing other parts from Integras or Civics.
I'm gonna have to get new wheel bearings, obviously, but
without altering the suspension geometry up front, which is a common downside when swapping to an Integra suspension.
there you go. Part of the bearing is on the hub still, but it's out, which I have 2 genuine OEM Koyo wheel bearings. So now that's out of the way. The race should be able to just pop right out. As you can clearly see, my dust shield for the brake is kind of soup sandwich. I have 3 different ball joint remover kits, like the fork style, that kit, and another one, and nothing will fit. I can't get it in my press because I don't have the right plates. Waiting for this thing to just shoot grease all over me. Be like a rope, never mind. Got it! Good to go. Hey, it's working. Snap rings are like old tartar sauce. It's already sketchy to begin with when it's fresh, but when it's old, it gets even spicier. That didn't make any sense. Maybe. That's also a soup sandwich. What's in there? Bada bing, bada boom. I'd like to take a break from the suspension stuff real quick because my roof here, it's to be determined what all I can save off of it. Oh, it's crunchy. As much as I try to do everything myself within reason, if I don't have equipment, then I have no choice if I can't afford to buy the equipment. This is upholstered in vinyl, and you can see how they did it. The difficult challenge is gonna be getting replacement foam and vinyl in this exact color, because it needs to match the rest of the interior. The panel itself is in great shape though. You can see why these sunroofs end up flying off into the grass, because these little guys right here get worn out.
Use a little bit of OE Clean to soften up the rubber first.
Maybe. I'm kind of shocked at how complex the underside of this roof is. I didn't think there was that much gadgets and doodads to this, but at least it's all removable. Oh, there's all kinds of shit inside there. You can see even in a dry desert climate, there's tiny little bits of corrosion. I don't know how this is possible. This car sat outside for years and the sun just baked all the paint off and made all the plastic brittle, but there's no cracks in it.
It's really hard to clean inside this track though. When you're working with something as old and as sun-baked as this, it's not exactly smart to throw a full-strength chemical on it intended for new materials. So I diluted it massively with water first and eased my way up to full strength to make sure I could handle it.
It's softened up quite a bit. It looks pretty good. I don't know if the sun did something to the top or not. I won't really be able to tell until this stuff kind of wears in. We'll go with I saved it. Roof panel, stripped down, ready for bodywork.
The stealth bomber will soon be introduced to the public.
It's the following day. I have some more pressing matters that need to be accomplished, but this right here is the internal mechanism for the sunroof to slide back and forth on. And as you can see, you don't even need to be mechanically inclined to notice that that probably doesn't move as good as it could. This also has weather stripping that I probably cannot get more of. I got an idea. And spray everything down. Well, it stinks like wet dirt, not in the good way like when it rains. That's disgusting.
Rather than shove some irrelevant advertisement down your guys' throats, if you appreciate these detailing products you've been seeing me use, they're available on my website, sarahandtune.com, and they're all my own RoboBubble brand.
Better, but not up to standard yet. Disassembly is required. Oh, these are all 8 mils. Now I do have some tech data, but I don't really need it. Is there a nut in the backside of that? Tech data. What do I do with my tech data? I don't want to get it dirty. Oh, the guide rails are held in with adhesive. Wait. This is broken. This is supposed to be attached right there. That sucks. This is why I chose to tear this apart now rather than wait until I was well underway with the paint and bodywork, because if I need to try to find parts, it gives me more time. Like now I got to try to find the little air deflector piece since it's broken. There's a hidden nut. Oh yeah, it's still filthy under there. So this little yellow plastic cup, which was probably white at one point in time, has a metal shaft going up into the bottom of it that a screw goes through and clamps them together. If I try to pry on that to separate these two to disassemble, I'm probably gonna break it and then I'm screwed. The whole point of restoring something is to make it as good as new again, but if I break it in the process, it's not as good as new again. Since that's as rare as penguin teeth, I don't have a hen. I think if I just do this, yeah, look how gross that is. Kick things up a notch, use some of my Blaster 5000. This stuff is a lot more powerful. I'm gonna use a gray scuff pad. I let these things sit in some penetrating fluid. Yes, it's free. This side, yep, it's also free. I don't know why I thought this was gonna be a fast and easy job. This is a process right here. Oh, it's so disgusting. Yeah, no wonder this thing struggled. Oh, it'll definitely work a lot better. So what I didn't do, when I took this off, the sunroof was open. So the sliders are in the wrong spot. Oh, I see how it works. Yeah, now they move. Perfect. That's free. Now this. That's better. Look at all that stuff that I missed down inside there. I'm so glad I took this apart. It's another day. Cleaning all those parts is way more time consuming than it looks on camera. Everything is pretty much ready to go back together. But before I stick everything back onto the frame, this little plastic bushing right here, as you can see, has got a crack in the center of it. And the hole you see right there in the bottom of the moonroof track, it locks into it just like that. Additionally, the wind buffer that pops up when you open the roof so your ears don't pop, the corner of it where it attaches is broken off. It should look something like this. And lastly, all these little plastic stoppers that go at the end of the rail track, I ordered some of these 3D printed ones, but I can't assemble it without the pieces. Now, yes, those parts probably could be 3D printed. However, I don't own one, and good ones are very expensive. So that's not really an option right now. Why are these things always doing sexual dirty acts? think it's dish? When I said I was rebuilding this car, I hope you didn't just think I meant slapping some paint on it and some new wheels and a different engine. That means literally rebuilding everything. This sucks. Oh, I hate this snap ring. Got it. Dangerous thing, dangerous thing. Hey, it worked. Dangerous thing, dangerous thing. Thinking. Ouch. I'm gonna use the old blanket technique. Did it work? Hey, it worked. Yeah, that looks like a projectile that would definitely hurt if it came flying at you. See, this little bevel right here is just waiting to slip and shoot a socket in my belly button. I feel like the klaxon should go off before this thing pops. Incoming, incoming, incoming. All right, looks like most of these are all the same size, oddly enough. I don't know how I prop this one up. I guess I gotta hold it. Oh geez, it's not even compressing it. How far down does I gotta go? What the hell? It wasn't doing anything? I shot that socket pretty far. I don't know how this is gonna work. Seems like it's pressing. I'm confused. Oh, okay, I just like disintegrated it. This one's confusing because I have this giant metal bar in the center. I can't really get anything to press the sleeve around the rubber out. So I gotta push this out first. This is going way easy. Oh, it's actually just going that easy. Sweet. Holy shit! Now you see why I moved the Celica, because it would be really depressing if it hit the car. Woo! Got it. In the next video you see on this car, hopefully all these pieces, along with the ones I dropped off this morning, will be done in their fresh new powder coat, and then I'll have them back at the shop. I have a feeling one of you might ask this question, whether or not I'm gonna take this and get it re-powder coated, and the answer is no, because it surpasses my 90 percentile rule. This thing looks better than 90% of what it did when it was brand new, so therefore it stays. And I'll sprinkle in a video or two on this since there's a couple things left to finish up. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye!